Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi everyone and welcome. This is Stuart Andrew Alexander back again with another guest who's most certainly an impact maker within his own rights. And we're going to find out just why in a few short moments. But first, let's take a quick minute to introduce him to the show. Now, today's guest is someone who helps salespeople and companies to solve their sales performance problems so they can achieve their full potential in sales. He has a passion for inspiring a professional attitude in sales, inspiring salespeople to be enthusiastic and excited about selling, as well as inspiring them to be proud of who they are and to be proud of what they do, because, as he always says, nothing ever happens until a salesperson sells something. Additionally, he has a lifetime's experience in sales and sales management and has successfully taken more than 25,000 salespeople across all products and industries from being average salespeople to being sales professionals. And he's here today to talk to us about some of the problems, some of the obstacles, some of the misconceptions, pitfalls and fears surrounding the individuals and organizations he has a passion around helping the most. So please, let's welcome him to the show, ladies and gentlemen, often referred to as South Africa's favorite sales trainer and conference speaker, Ray Patterson. Ray, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Stuart. Thank you very much.
And a very good morning to you there, right down there in South Africa. The first question that I have for you, Ray, is could you just briefly, in your own words, describe to me who is your perfect prospect? Who is it that you help, Ray?
The people that I help usually are salespeople and companies that want to improve their sales results. It's anybody that is in the sales profession that is just struggling to achieve targets and struggling to achieve their full potential. And most importantly, from a sales perspective, struggling to be real professional salespeople rather than average salespeople.
Okay, Ray. So when you think about those people that you help the most, the people who you just mentioned, what are 2 to 3 common obstacles that you often come across that prevent them from achieving their desired outcome?
Stuart, the most common objection I find at the moment is that most salespeople have given up on controlling the sale. So they don't follow a sales process, they don't stick to the simple basics, and therefore the customer ends up controlling the sale. The customer ends up asking all the questions, and salespeople have become information providers rather than salespeople. So they'll answer all the questions the customer had. At the end of that 25 minutes or 35 or an hour, however long it takes, customer usually turns around and says, "Thank you very much. Leave it with us. We'll get back to you." Or "Thank you very much. Give us your card. We'll think about it." So salespeople themselves have got to a point where they're no longer selling. They've become order takers in a sense because they're allowing customers to control the sale and make the decisions based on the information they get from the salespeople.
And what are 2 to 3 popular misconceptions that the people you work with may have about the outcomes that they want to achieve when it comes to sales?
Misconception number one, I think, is price. The most salespeople have the misconception that customers are looking to buy whatever it is, the product or service they're wanting, and they want to pay the lowest price possible. And salespeople there again have got themselves to blame when they end up being in a price war, because usually it's themselves who are focusing on price instead of the other things that they should be focusing on, like value and service, and the other things that they can bring to add value to the customer's business. Giving good advice, for instance, on how to grow and improve their business. So that's price is one of them. The other one is that salespeople often believe that it's not necessary to present all the facts because the customers can get the information from the website. That is a big misconception in the marketplace today, that salespeople are no longer an important factor when customers are making decisions to buy products and services, because customers can get all that information from the website. And the problem with that is websites can't sell products and services. Websites can't ask questions and they can't get customers' emotions involved. you need a salesperson to be sitting with a customer either face-to-face or telephonically, finding out what their requirements are and then giving them good advice on how your products and services can help them to grow and improve their business.
That's some really good feedback, and it kind of a good segue into the next question, what I have for you. So again, when you think about the individuals who you help, the organizations that you work with, and those wanting to pursue their goals of achieving their full potential in sales, can you please just share a couple of pitfalls that they should be aware of, or even mindful of, or even careful of while they're out there trying to achieve those goals?
I think the first pitfall is not fully understanding or underestimating the customer's expectations. You know, customers in today's world of business, customers expect the salesperson to understand their business and to give them good advice on how to grow and improve their business. People no longer want to deal with average salespeople. They want to deal with salespeople that they see as being trusted advisors. So from that point of view, salespeople need to be a trusted advisor. You obviously need to know your products and services inside out. And then being an expert business partner means being able to understand the customer's business and to give them advice on how those products and services that you offer can help the customer to be better off by buying from you. The other pitfall often is not making a good first impression, because it's all about the salesperson in today's world of business. People don't buy products, services, or price or companies. They actually buy the salesperson that they're dealing with. And salespeople often don't understand how important they are in the process. Customers take one look or one listen, if it's the telephonic call, and then make a split-second decision on deciding, yes, my trapdoor's open, I'll listen to what this person has to say, or no, I don't think I'm going to listen to this person, because they're doing and saying the same thing that all the average salespeople that have been wasting my time out there are saying. So they need to look at being different. So it's making a good first impression and understanding that the customer has high expectations today from salespeople.
So would it be accurate to say that for anybody to buy from you, they must first trust you? However, for them to first trust you, you must have strategies in place to break down their natural skepticism and give them sufficient reasons to choose you over your competitors?
I think the trust element is not something that happens instinctively, and it's certainly not something that happens, often doesn't happen at the beginning of a meeting or even at the first meeting. What needs to happen first is that the customer makes a split-second decision based on what they see and hear from you, whether you are the kind of person that is there to help them. In other words, are you there because you want to be there? Are you there because you're a professional salesperson who knows the products and services they sell, has taken the time to find out about the company's ins and outs and what their requirements might be, and you're there to be of service? So initially, the first thing they need to do is to like you. It's not really trust. The first thing is they need to like you. And only from then on, trust, as I said, trust may happen at a later stage, but it's very much a case of, do I want to do business with the salesperson? So a customer takes one look at a salesperson and they make a split-second decision. Do I want to do business with this person or not? And it's what they see in front of them, how the person is dressed, how they're carrying themselves, their body language, their enthusiasm, and all that kind of stuff. So to answer that question, it's not so much about trust initially, but it's about making a good first impression and giving the customer the impression that you're there to be of service. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you improve and grow your business.
Thinking about people you work with and then wanting to achieve their full potential in sales, in your experience, what are 2 to 3 of the most common fears that prevent them from achieving their desired outcome?
One of the problems I find with companies not achieving the desired outcome is because they've had so many previous bad experiences with sales trainers who've made no difference to their business. Companies have ended up spending a lot of money on sales training and then not getting in real improvement in their bottom line, which is increased sales. A lot of sales trainers themselves don't really have don't have the necessary hands-on sales experience, and because of that they get all the ideas and material from doing internet research, and that usually results in long methodologies, complicated systems, and trainers who actually tell salespeople what they should be doing but are not able to show them the how-tos. Salespeople themselves sometimes don't welcome and support the idea of an outside trainer coming in especially in a situation where companies don't have a hands-on approach to training their salespeople internally, and the salespeople therefore are left to their own devices and usually end up taking shortcuts. And when there's a mention of an outside trainer coming in, salespeople start to panic because they suddenly realize that they know that they're not doing what they should be doing, and someone's going to come in now and it's going to be highlighted and found out.
Right. Any other fears that you come across, Ray?
Sometimes the benefits of that the sales training it'll be short-lived. Sometimes sales training, if it's a 1-day training program or a 2-day training program, very often that's all it consists of. It's a 1-day program where salespeople walk out at the end of the day with lots of knowledge, but no how-tos and no way of actually, no new skills that they can go and implement. And the salespeople themselves then don't improve their sales, and it goes back to that initial problem that most companies have is they just don't think that it's going to work for them. They've tried it before and it hasn't worked. One of the things that differentiates me between myself and some of the other sales trainers is that, first of all, besides the knowledge and skills that I have, I focus a lot on getting salespeople to make notes and to write out action steps. I also get them to do lots of role plays and group activities during sales training so that they actually practice the skills before I leave. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm actually showing them how in a safe environment. I also give a full money back guarantee. So if a company decides they didn't get benefit from my training, then they can have their money back because then I haven't done my job.
And I'm sure nobody's ever actually exercised the right for a money-back guarantee, right? Because you're the consummate professional and the educator and advocate, right? So I like the fact that you brought that up. That just shows your honesty. That's really good. Moving forward, Ray, whenever I ask this question, it sounds like an obvious question, but it's a really important one, and it's a twofold question. But when you think about the people you work with, why would they want to achieve the outcome of being able to achieve their full potential in sales? And if you could give me the emotional reasons for them wanting to do that, as well as the logical reasons, that would be some great content for the listeners out there.
Over the last 5 or 6 years, maybe even going back a little bit further than that, selling has become the number one skill set in any organization. No company can exist without sales. And no sales can happen without well-trained and well-motivated salespeople. So any company who wants to be successful in business today needs to understand the importance of training their salespeople to be true professionals and understanding that the skill set of selling is most important in their business. And a lot of companies who previously didn't see themselves as being sales companies, such as the banks, are now starting to ask for sales training. And when they ask for sales training, we want them to get business. We want, it's not just a case of going out and representing the company any longer. So companies need to, and I think from a salesperson's point of view as well, salespeople themselves need to improve their knowledge and skills on a regular basis so that they can fulfill this role that is required from them. And that is being the most important person in the organization.
Okay, so in terms of emotional reasons, could you just expand a little bit on that? Why would somebody want to achieve their full potential in sales from an emotional point of view?
Well, I think if we just talk about salespeople themselves, selling is a simple business, but it's not easy. And the not easy part of selling is that there are no shortcuts. And selling it's a lonely business. I always say to salespeople that selling is not a team sport. You may be part of a team, a sales team, and the company may consider everyone as one team. But when a salesperson is sitting face to face with a customer, selling the products and services that they have, whether they get the business or not is all up to that salesperson in that particular moment. They're all on their own. And if they don't do anything about improving knowledge and skills and becoming true professionals in sales, then they start to look for reasons why they're not succeeding. And then the whole spiral starts to decline. Because then salespeople do like they normally do. Their default is look for excuses. It's the economy, the politics, the weather, customers, leads, the price, and so on. So salespeople often find themselves stuck in this trap where, because they're not doing anything about improving knowledge and skills or being different, they end up devaluing themselves And then they often also become subservient, apologetic. When they meet customers, they thank them for their time, which they shouldn't be doing. I believe when a salesperson arrives at a meeting with a customer, the customer should be thanking them because they're coming to give the customer good advice on how to grow and improve their business. So from an emotional point of view, we sit, and I say we, I'm a salesperson myself, we sit on an emotional fence. We react to everything that happens around us. If it's positive, we crash. If it's negative, we up. So it's very important for salespeople to do something about improving knowledge and skills on a regular basis, because that improves attitude. Attitude meaning that they find themselves in a more positive frame of mind. Starting to look for solutions to things, how to make things work, rather than excuses for why things didn't work.
Ray, it's been a really good interview so far. We know who you have the greatest passion around helping. You've made that clear. You work with individuals, sales organizations, corporations. You've spoken about some of the most common obstacles and the misconceptions they may have bought into. You also address some of the harmful pitfalls that they should be aware of and the fears that hold them back, as well as some of the emotional and logical reasons that you just touched on. So now that we know all of that, let's just spend a few moments talking a little bit about your solution. What is it exactly, Ray? Does it have a name? Does it have a brand? And what made you come up with the idea? What inspired you to help the kinds of people that you were today? So in short, that was about 4 or 5 questions, but to wrap it all up, a little bit about your backstory, Ray. Let's go into that, please.
Our sales training does have a brand name. It goes by the name of RAP Selling, which is R-A-P. And I focus on getting salespeople to stop being reps, in other words, just representing the company, and to start being reps. And the explanation of how I came up to RAP, and I'll explain what RAP stands for shortly. The way I came up with this is whenever I meet with people that are looking to do sales training, so I meet with sales managers, sales directors, company owners, CEOs on a regular basis to discuss their sales training requirements. And one of the questions that always comes up is, how do you get salespeople to go out and do what they should be doing? It's a common fact that most salespeople know exactly what they should be doing in any such selling situation. The problem is they don't always go out and do it. And there seems to be a missing link between a salesperson who has the knowledge and skills to be successful, but on the other hand, is not achieving their full potential in sales. And after thinking about this for quite some time, I believe I came up with the answer to that question. And that is, the way you get them to go out and be successful in sales and do what they should be doing is to get them to become RAP salespeople. Now, RAP is an acronym that stands for the 3 key characteristics that I believe make a professional salesperson. And that is responsible, accountable, and proud. Salespeople need to be responsible for improving knowledge and skills every single day. It is not the company's responsibility to continually provide training. Salespeople themselves have to assume that responsibility. The second thing is being accountable for achieving sales targets. So that's looking at your sales targets, and instead of looking for reasons why you're not going to be able to achieve them, find excuses for not achieving, is to look and see how I can achieve these targets. What is it that I need to do to be able to achieve my sales targets, and being fully accountable for that. And then the final thing is being proud. Being proud of who you are and being proud of what you do is critically important. There's a known fact that 25% of the world's population are actually employed salespeople who are selling products and services. And without us, there would be no business, there'd be no economy, and there'd certainly be no fun and excitement in the workplace. So any salesperson who takes on these characteristics will go from whatever level they're at up to the next level. Whether you've been in sales for 25 days or 25 years, you don't need to improve your closing techniques. You don't need to go on a seminar and learn how to overcome objections. You just become responsible, accountable, and proud, and you're going to be successful in sales.
So, Ray, apart from all of the ladies out there who are going to be contacting me, sending me emails, ringing my phone off the hook, wanting to know, who is this good-looking South African guy? All right, who is this hunk? Who is this chiseled guy who's just shared all of this great information? Apart from that, if there's any individuals or someone representing an organization, such as an HR director or a company manager, a CEO or an event organizer, or even investors, vendors, or any other types of key business decision makers who are listening to the show and want to know more, where can they find you, Ray? How can they connect with you?
First of all, Stuart, I just want to make sure that after that fantastic rendition of who the South African guy is, this chiseled hunk, I just want to make sure that you've got the right profile.
I'm on your website, and my eyes don't lie.
Okay.
Right. I just must add to that. I did a press release before you came on the show, and hundreds of people saw that you was going to come on to the show, and my inbox was just flooded with emails from females wanting to know, who is this Ray Patterson? Who is this hunk? This South African guy? I've never heard of him before. So anyway, let's get serious. Let's get back down to business. Okay. Tell the people how they can get hold of you, Ray. Go ahead.
Through my website, which is www.raypatterson, which is my name, and that's PATTERSON.co.za. Probably the quickest and easiest way to get through to connect with me always is email. And it's simple. It's Ray P. So P is for Patterson at mweb. That's M for Mary, web.co.za. I'm also available on LinkedIn, but email and internet are probably the quickest way to connect with me, a website.
Perfect. So we've come to the end of the show, Ray. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time. So before we leave and we say goodbye, do you have any final thoughts for the listeners out there?
The only thing I would say is, especially salespeople that are out there, you've made the right. I want you to all to take your right hand, lift it in the air, put it across, pat yourselves on the back and say, well done. You made the right decision. You're in the best profession in the world. Because nothing ever happens until a salesperson sells something, and never forget that.
What a great way to end the show from Ray Patterson, commonly known as South Africa's favorite sales trainer and conference speaker. I'm going to look forward to having you back on the show again, Ray. I just have a feeling you've only scraped the tip of the iceberg today in terms of the amount of information that you can share that is useful, that is educational, that is informational. So I just want to say a big thank you to you for that, Ray.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for giving me the time, and I've enjoyed speaking with you, Stuart.
You're so welcome. So this was Stuart Andrew Alexander saying goodbye for now. Take care. And remember, perfection is not when there's nothing left to add. It's when there's nothing left to take away. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk real soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.